Hi,
Hi.
Jessica.
Hi, how are you, President Obama?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm hanging in there, you
Well,
know.
that's good. How's your family?
They are also hanging in there with,
Oh,
COVID and the 2-year-old. He's potty trained now and he loves taking
that's
walks.
big.
It's major. It's like the breakthrough in the family. We still have, the little potty in the living room, which, we don't have guests over, so it's fine. No,
How 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 old is your oldest?
she's 12. So
Yeah,
she,
because I I'm trying to think of when I saw you during my presidency. Uh, you still had one in a stroller, I think,
yes,
and I'm trying to think of which one that would have been.
it was Haven, my middle child. I have Honor is
Yeah,
12, Haven's 9, and then our little only one that we actually planned is the baby. The other two were the surprises. So yeah,
well, that's great. Tell them I said hi.
I will. I will. I'll just jump right in because I know you're
Sure.
strapped for time.
Yeah.
And in this book, I think the character that you, President Obama, and your wife have is that you guys are very genuine and open. You show such a human side of yourselves. And I think it's so difficult, especially, putting pen to paper and when you're writing a book, revealing so much about your inner dialogue. And it's, I just think it's incredible because it just shows how human you are and what a human approach that you both take, especially in the sort of really the biggest spotlight in the world. And so the question is, in the book, your wife, Michelle Obama, oh, love her so much. And she said that when there's a hard road or an easy road, you always choose the hard road or the hard path. What is it about the hard path? Why do you always want to take it? The one that, with the challenges, with, all of those roadblocks in the way. What is it?
Yeah. Well, Michelle would say that I don't have a great answer for this. She still uh, claims that I'm always taking the hard road on things. I, some of it, as I write about in the book, no doubt has to do with lingering needs to prove myself. My father left me when I was young, and you want to kind of show, even though he's now passed away, psychologically, you're still thinking, man, I've got to prove what I can do. I think that some of it is just temperament. I like challenges and proving to myself that I can do certain things. But I think the biggest reason, and the reason, for example, I ended up running for president, because she asks me this early in our marriage, but Michelle keeps on confronting me, trying harder and harder stuff, is that the things that last, for me at least, were hard. We live in a culture where so much of our currency is based on either making money or getting famous. But there came a point in my life where I thought, what I really want to do is see if I can have an impact where kids who don't have a good education can get a good education, or communities that don't have jobs maybe can get some jobs, or we can figure out how to deal with climate change, or we can reduce the likelihood that there are wars out there, or lessen racism in our society. And that's the kind of stuff that by definition is hard. because you're talking about influencing communities and societies and changing people's mindsets, and that's not easy, because especially in a big diverse country like America, there are a lot of different points of view, and there's a lot of arguments about stuff, and so it wasn't so much that I was always just itching to do things that were really hard, that would give me a big headache and lead me to lack of sleep and turn me gray prematurely. But it was sort of the things I wanted to get done turned out to be hard. And part of what the book's about is sort of describing how when you take on hard things, you're never going to get 100% of what you were hoping for. Right. And that's okay, because just by virtue of trying, you make things a little bit better. And that's all any of us can hope for is that by the time, we're passing on this world to, our kids and eventually our grandkids, that we can say, all right, the part of the race that I ran made things a little bit better. And, I'll have time to rest later.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting what you're saying, because I feel like you almost get energy from the naysayers, or you almost get energy from the resistance, where I think a lot of people, and certainly I'm finding that, the lesson I'm trying to teach my kids is when it's an easy path, that shouldn't give you more energy. If anything, you should be a little suspect of it, because anything that's easy is usually not worth its salt. Just isn't. Right.
Or won't last. It'll be fleeting.
Temporary.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you see that in your own experience, right? There came a point where it would be easier for you to just take a bunch of acting parts because, you were obviously successful. Starting a business was riskier, right?
It's still pain in my butt. Yeah. It's like the hardest thing harder every day.
Right,
it's
but
hard. Yeah.
Yeah, but it gives you satisfaction, and what you're teaching your kids is the same thing that I'm teaching my daughters. And now, where Michelle, I think, has helped me, and I talk about this in the book, is making sure that you balance doing hard things with understanding that at the end of the day, your family, your kids, the time you spend with them, that can't be replaced. And part of the story I'm telling in The Promised Land is not just about being president, but it's also how our family was able to go through this hard thing and come out on the other end whole. Right. And I attribute a lot of that to her being kind of a ballast and a counterweight to me always wanting to run and go do all this other stuff. And she's like, hold on a second, these little girls, they need you to read to them tonight. And
so that
we got that
time.
Yeah.
And so I guess the why everyone needs to read this book in conclusion would be that, to get the inspiration of like the type of man that you are and what you've been through. And certainly you've been on the biggest stage in the world, but then also the importance of making the most of those small moments as well, and the tenderness and the relationship with your kids.
I appreciate that. I mean, that's what I'm trying to communicate. Part of what I want people to be able to do, take away from the book is that whether you are working in a store, or you are working in a factory, or you're in the media, or you're a president, some of these same issues are going to come up. And it's not, the presidency is a job. It's a big one, but it's a job. And how you balance family and how you deal with disappointments and how you deal with challenges, and how you build a team. Those are things that many of us can relate to and share. And I try to pull the curtain away from all the pomp and circumstance, so that people say, oh, okay, I see this as connected to my life, and all of us as citizens have a claim on making America better. It's not just one person, but it's all of us, and hopefully folks can relate to that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate the time.
Well, I really appreciate you, and good luck on continued potty training. Make sure that
we haven't gotten the
forward.
night down. We got the daytime down. So that's major.
It's all a process. It's all good.
It is. All right. Take care.
See you later.